Very good morning, children. Children, today we'll discuss next topic of chapter number 2, that is units and measurements, and the topic is measurement of mass as well as measurement of time. Dear students, so far we have discussed till measurement of length day before yesterday, and in measurement of length we have discussed measurement of very small distances as well as measurement of very large distances. In measurement of very large distances, we have discussed about the concept of parallax methods, by which we can able to measure the distance between two celestial bodies, like distance between Earth and Moon, or distance between Earth to Sun, and so on. Now, today we'll discuss measurement of mass. So let us see. The topic which we have discussed today, dear students, today we'll discuss the following topics, that is measurement of mass, then methods of measuring mass, then measurement of time, and then after measurement of the time in the then range and order of time interval. So let us see the first topic, that is measurement of mass. Dear students, as you all are familiar about the SI unit. So the SI unit of mass is here kilogram, and its symbol is kg. Dear students, the international standard kilograms supplied by the International Bureau of Weights and Measurements, that is BIPM, are available in many other laboratories of different countries. But in India, this is available at the National Physical Laboratory, that is NPL, New Delhi. While dealing with atoms and molecules, the kilogram is an inconvenient unit. See, kilogram is a very, you may say, a little bit large unit. So if we deal with atoms, molecules, their masses, their weights, so the kilogram unit, which is the SI unit of mass, is very inconvenient unit. So to overcome from this inconvenient unit, that is kilogram, in this case there is an important standard unit of mass called unified atomic mass unit. Sometimes it is also called 1 AU, that is atomic mass unit. So which has been utilized for expressing the mass of atom as one unified atomic mass unit is equals to 1 U, and this 1 U in SI system can be converted, and one atomic mass unit or 1 unit is equivalent to 1.66 into 10 raised to the power of 27 kilogram. So one unified mass is equals, so how can you define one unified mass unit or 1 unit? So one unified mass unit is equals to 1/12 of the mass of an atom of carbon-12 isotopes C12-6, including the mass of electrons. Children, I hope you all are familiar about isotopes and isobars. So isotopes, even the atomic number of 2 or more atoms are equals, then they are said to be isotopes. So once again, see the definition of one unified atomic mass unit, that is 1 U. One unified mass unit is equals to 1/12 of mass of an atom of carbon-12 isotopes C612, including the mass of electron, and 1 unit is equals to 1.66 into 10 raised to the power of minus 27 kilogram. So you are supposed to remember the conversion of 1 unit mass into its SI system. So let us see the methods of measuring mass. Dear students, see, methods of measuring mass, there are so many methods. The first one is by using a common balance. We can use a common balance to measure the mass of any objects. This is the first way, by using common balance. You must have physical balance. And then after, the second methods will be the large masses in the universe like planets, stars, etc., based on Newton's law of gravitation, and which can be measured by using gravitational methods. You know about Newton's law of gravitation, dear students? Do you know about Newton's law of gravitation? Do you remember? You have studied about Newton's law of gravitation in class 9th standard, class 9th. So according to Newton's law of gravitation tells about the magnitude of force of attraction between any two bodies which are present in the universe. According to Newton's law of gravitation, force acting between any two celestial bodies having mass m1 and m2, which is placed at a distance small r, depends upon two factors. The force, or you may say the force of attraction. The nature of this gravitational force is attraction, attractive nature, you may say. So the force acting between any two bodies is directly proportional. Number one is directly proportional to the product of their masses, and number two, the force of attraction between two bodies, two celestial bodies, you may say, is inversely proportional to the square of the distance between them. And when we combine these two relations, we'll get F is directly proportional to m1 m2 upon r square. When we remove proportionality sign, we'll get a constant capital G, that is called gravitational constant. So F is equals to G m1 m2 upon r square. This is the expression of force of attraction in Newton's law of gravitation. So the second method will be, according to Newton's law of gravitation, we can able to calculate the mass. And the third one, for measuring of small masses of atomic, subatomic particles, etc., we make use of mass spectrograph for measuring the mass of atom, molecules, and so many objects which have very small mass, very small masses can be measured by using a mass spectrograph, in which radius of trajectory is proportional to the mass of a charged particle moving in uniform electric and magnetic field. Children, you will study about the concept of electric field as well as magnetic field in class 12th. So this is how we can measure the mass. There are basically three methods, and you are supposed to remember these three methods for measuring the mass. So range of masses, let us see about the range of masses. The masses of the objects we come across in the universe varies over a very wide range. These may vary from teeny mass of order of 10 raised to the power of minus 30 kg of an electron to the huge mass of about 10 raised to the power of 55 kg of the known universe. So let us see the range and order of masses. Here the ratio between range of large masses and small masses is about 10 raised to the power of 85 is to 1, and it is approximately equals to 10 raised to the power of 41 whole square. So let us see about some small particle and their masses, and some very large bodies with its mass. Let us see first one, electron. The object is electron. The mass of electron is in the range of 10 raised to the power of minus 30, and the mass of proton will be 10 raised to the power of minus 20. This is in SI unit, that is all the masses are calculated here in kilogram. So the mass of uranium atom is about 10 raised to the power of minus 25. The mass of red blood cell, that is RBC, is about 10 raised to the power of minus 13. In this way, we can able to know about the mass of moon is about 10 raised to the power of 23 kilogram, and the mass of earth is about 10 raised to the power of 25. And what about the mass of sun? It is about 10 raised to the power of 30 kilogram. And finally we can express the observable universe. The mass of observable universe is about 10 raised to the power of 55 kilogram. So measurement of, so in this way we had discussed some important concepts related to measurement of mass, and after that the next topic will be measurement of time. So let us see about the concept of measurement of time. So let us see, children, we use an atomic standard of time which is based on the periodic vibration produced in a cesium atom. This is the basis of cesium clock, sometimes called atomic clock, used in the national standard. In the cesium atomic clock, the second is taken as the time needed for 91926317770 vibrations of the radiation corresponding to the, actually children, all these topics are related to theoretical portion. There is no any kind of calculation. So let me read out and let me tell about the meaning of these concepts, that is measurement of time. Transition between the two hyperfine levels of the ground state of cesium-133 atom. The vibration of the cesium atom regulate the rate of this cesium atomic clock, just as the vibration of a balance wheel regulate an ordinary wristwatch, or the vibrations of a small quartz crystal regulates a quartz wristwatch. So this is how we can correlate the timing of a cesium atomic clock with the time of a wristwatch. A cesium atomic clock is used at the National Physical Laboratory NPL New Delhi to maintain the Indian Standard of Time, that is IST. Children, have you seen somewhere this word IST? The meaning of IST is Indian Standard of Time. So it is related to a cesium atomic clock which is kept in at National Physical Laboratory New Delhi. So this is about the measurement of time. There are some range and order of time interval. The time longest is to time shortest is about the ratio of 10 raised to the power of 41 is to 1. See, there are some events and the time interval in second is given as the first one. The period of X-rays is about 10 raised to the power of minus 19. Time period, you know, time period, the time taken to complete one vibration or one oscillation. For X-ray, it is about 10 raised to the power of minus 19. See how small it is. And in second period of radio waves, it is about 10 raised to the power of minus 6. It is too large compared to period of X-rays. Period of sound wave, it is about 10 raised to the power of minus 3. Second, ring of eyes, it is about 10 raised to the power of minus 1. Time between successive human heartbeats is about 1 second. 10 raised to the power of 0, it is equivalent to 1. In the same way, we can able to see here time period of a satellite is about 10 raised to the power of 4. You know, this is the time period of a satellite is near about, it is not approximately, it is about 10 raised to the power of 4. Rotation of period of earth is about 10 raised to the power of 5 second. Revolution period of earth 10 raised to the power of 7 second. You know, children, about the meaning of a rotation and a revolution. Very true. So, travel time for light from the nearest star is about 10 raised to the power of 8. Average human lifespan is about 10 raised to the power of 9 second. And in this way, we can come to know that age of the universe is about 10 raised to the power of 17 second. So in this way, we have completed both the topics, that is measurement of time and methods of measurements of mass and the method of measuring mass, and then after measurements of time and its range. In this way, we have completed both the topics. Now this is the time for today's home assignment. So today you are supposed to write these questions. That is, first question, what do you mean by mass? Write its SI unit. This is the question number 1. And then, what is unified atomic mass unit? Express it in SI unit. And the third question will be methods of measuring mass. You have to write down the concepts of methods of measuring mass. Then after, you have to tabulate the range of mass as discussed at the above, and then measurement of time, and at last tabulate the range of time as discussed above. So now in next class we will start accuracy, precision of instrument and error in measurement, and this topic we'll discuss in next class. So thank you very much, and God bless you all.